This video is presented by EA Game Changers. Thank you to EA for allowing me to take part in the early capture of Madden NFL 19. Although this video is presented by the EA Game Changers, please know that the thoughts and opinions in this video are strictly my own. Now, let's get into the video. What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to another Madden NFL 19 exclusive video. So in this video, I'm going to show you some new stuff on defense, coverages, formations, and then show you kind of how the AI is reacting to some things now, both in man and zone defense. There's definitely some improvements, definitely some things that need to be worked on as well, but definitely wanted to go over some improvements. So a new formation we have is the big nickel over G, which is essentially the old 4-2-5 formation. They finally brought it back and gave it to us. And you'll notice there's a lot of unique coverages in here, not only just to this formation, but they're in other formations as well. We have cover 6 invert now. We have cover 4 quarters, cover 4 palms, which they have matching principles that help defend certain formations. As you see, we got a lot of cool blitzes. We have this 4-lock palms, which is really interesting. I'm going to show you that one really quickly right now. So this is a hybrid man zone defense. Basically what you get with this defense is you get a man coverage on one side of the field and a cover 4 on the other side of the field. So you see the left side, we have man coverage with a curl flat zone. We have our middle third receiver hook zone in the middle, and then on the right we have a basic cover 4. You could shade down if you want hard flats instead of curl flats. That's always optional and something that I typically like to do when I run cover 4s. But yeah, it's just a different way to kind of throw your opponent off. You have man on one side of the field, as I'm usering really badly right there, but as you can see, you give them a man look on one side and a cover 4 look on the other side, something that can throw them off. This isn't the type of coverage that you would necessarily run like down in and down out because it's not really balanced. You know, it's kind of like one of those mix-up coverages you would throw in there, especially if you were running a lot of cover 4 and then you throw this at them. It can kind of throw your opponent off a little bit, so that's something that's interesting. Scrolling through, going back to the big nickel over G, we're going to look at the cover 4 quarters. So what this is there's a bunch of different cover 4s in the game now. They have cover 4 drop, which is just the all-out zone version. Cover 4 quarters and cover 4 palms are cover 4s, but they match and play man. And they're good for certain formations. So for example, what I found, at least in the brief time playing the game, is the cover 4 quarters was actually a decent option against bunch. It matches all the routes. As you see, the curl flat will drop back briefly, but then it's going to match the flat route. The deep zone on the right is going to match the corner route. You see how he's running with the corner route and kind of locking it up, and nothing's really getting wide open. Now, don't get me wrong, as the year plays out and people start labbing offenses more, they're going to find ways to, you know, break the bunch formation as always and make it hard to stop. But in the early stages of the game, a defense like cover 4 quarters actually does a really good job, as you can see, matching all of the routes against the gun bunch and actually limiting how open the corner routes and the flat routes gets. Whereas in years past, you could literally just run a corner and a flat out of bunch and have guys wide open. With the cover 4 quarters, you see that the outside guy will match the flat, the cornerback on that side will match any deep routes coming his way, and the guys over the middle will match routes going over the middle. As you can see, we're in a cover 4, but everybody's playing man. You can see on the right that the corner route is being matched. So it's definitely a new coverage, and one that I'm excited to play around with a lot more this year, because we definitely have been needing coverages like this in the game. I'm always excited when they do, you know, they're able to add more coverages in the game. Now we're going to look at the cover 6 invert, and what's really interesting about this is you get a cover 6 but with the run defense benefit of a cover 4 now. In the old cover 6, you would have one safety in a run fit and one outside cornerback in a run fit. Now with cover 6 invert, you have both safeties and run fits. So think of how cover 4 normally is. Cover 4 is good against the run because you have both safeties and run fits. Now you get that same advantage with cover 6 invert. The regular cover 6 doesn't work this way. You have to use cover 6 invert. So now you don't have to always run a cover 4 when you want to have a defense on the field that is both a good base versus the run and the pass. Now here, obviously, I shoot in and just shoot the gap, but I want you to notice the safeties in the replay. Just like in a cover 4, watch how they do not backpedal. They wait and read the play first. If it's a run, they come forward. As you see, the safety starts running forward here. We're going to go look at the other safety now. Same thing. You could see he's not going back. He's staying where he's at. He's reading the play. He sees that it's a run, and he's attacking forward. Now, like I said, we shot through and hit the gap ourselves, but still the safeties were in their run fits, and that'll be better against the run than cover 6 was last year. Now I want you to look at the mid-read zone, another zone that really improved this year. Notice how the mid-read zone gets depth now. It gets back on the field, and it'll cover up on most plays, post routes, deep seam routes. Watch the mid-read. You see that he goes to the right. Once the corner bails to the right and he knows he doesn't have to cover it anymore, he goes back over the middle to the left to watch the post. You might want to rewind that and even watch it again because it's hard to catch. The mid-read starts out to the right where the bulk of the wide receivers were. Once nothing came in his area, he drifted back and picked up the post. Here again, you see as the mid-read backs up to take the seam route. Last year, mid-reads would not get this kind of depth. They would stay too low, and that's why in a cover 2 defense, most people would put their middle linebackers into a deep blue because they wanted them to play deep, but the mid-read wouldn't play deep enough. Now the mid-read plays like it's supposed to. It's going to play further back, so the shallow middle in the cover 2 is going to be the weaker spot now this year, whereas post routes and seam routes down the middle is here. I just make a horrible attempted tackle in the flat. But again, watch the mid-read on the replay. Watch how the mid-read gets back with the post. He's not in a deep blue. He is in a mid-read. Last year, he would not do this. You would have had to manually put him in a deep blue. That would have taken an extra adjustment for him to do that. Now we want to look at some of the AI defense for some gameplay clips. Keep in mind there were still some troubles with the defense in the build that we were playing, but I did see a lot of good things that I like. Notice here the cornerback attacking and knocking the ball out. We're going to run it back in slow motion. Last year, this would have either just been a catch or a drop, one or the other. But notice how the wide receiver gets it, but we get a catch tackle animation and the DB fights to knock the ball out. Some people like that, some people don't. Personally, I think that's good. The DB should always fight and play good defense. Here again, you see the DB going up to swat the ball. Whereas in years past, situations like this, a lot of times you see either someone just gets it caught on their face or the ball just gets dropped. But it's nice to see the DBs actually going up, climbing the ladder, and going up to attack the ball and swat it down. They're not just kind of getting sucked into an animation where it's like a dice roll. They're going up and trying to defend it. Here's another good example, the DB reaching over the shoulder and knocking it out. Now, we're going to play it back in slow motion. It looks like he's beat, and he is beat. He's beat by a step, but in years past, this is a situation where being beat by that step would have rendered him useless, but now he actually has the ability. The wide receiver has to slow down a little bit to catch the ball, giving the cornerback a chance to jump over his shoulder and knock the ball out, which is what Jimmy Smith did here. Just kind of trying to throw a high point pass again. Jimmy Smith, the cornerback, going up, watching slow motion. He's going to go up, attack the ball, and knock it out. Now, this is a bad throw regardless. This is in traffic. This isn't good, but I'm just saying focus on the DB actually going up and attacking the ball, not just allowing the receiver to go up and then just trying to hit the receiver or jump on his back. He's actually going up to attack the ball. Here, we're going to show some man defense clips, and we're going to run each back in slow motion. Now, again, watch how good the man defense is playing, everyone. Man defense early on looks a little overpowered, but there definitely are times where I see guys get open. Like you can see on some of these breaks, there are instances where guys are getting, a little bit of separation, and you probably could complete the pass if you time it right. But just notice how no one is just running wide open against man. No one is completely roasting the man defense. The man coverage guys are sticking to their guys pretty well. You'll notice on a couple cuts here or there, you could see like, okay, this was a spot where you could fit the ball in there, but nobody was wide open. Now watch here. The only guy you see open here is the guy that gets open on the pick route, which is the wide wide receiver, which is realistic, but the quarterback doesn't see it in time and he gets sacked. But other than that, everybody else was locked up, which is really good. Here again, the DB's making a play on the ball, not allowing, not dumbing out and just allowing the receivers to just make an easy catch. They're always fighting for the ball. They're getting their hands in there. They're diving for balls more often this year. Do they do it every play? Absolutely not. There's definitely still times where the defense breaks down, where it kind of glitches out. It's kind of always going to be that way in Madden. But I'm just saying there's a lot more times where you see the effort. Right here, we complete the pass, but look at the effort from the DB to try to knock the ball out. He isn't successful, but he was right on him. You couldn't even say that wasn't even a great pass or a great read, but the DB got in there and at least made an attempt. Here you see an out route in man defense. Look how good the defender defended that. Most of you guys know out routes were so hard to stop these last few years. That is a basic man coverage right there. If you have a good man coverage corner, he will stick that out route. Now, if he's a terrible man coverage corner, probably not so much, but Janoris Jenkins, a pretty decent man coverage guy. He runs the route with the receiver, he breaks with him, and then not only that, but he jumps on the sideline, keeps his feet in bounds, and secures the ball. Like I said, I'm just excited to see that there are a lot of times now where the DBs are making plays on the ball. Here again, in years past, if you get behind this cloud flat with a with a fade route, you can always fit this ball in there. It's not going to happen every time now this year. People are going to get in there, swat the ball away. So overall, is defense still going to be kind of glitchy and weird in Madden sometimes? Of course, it's definitely never going to be perfect, but I'm just happy to see that it seems like some of the zones and logic have improved, the matching concepts have improved, and DBs are fighting with the ball more than ever, giving you more chances to get stops on defense. So that's all for today. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you did, as always, just drop a like, comment, subscribe, and I will see you guys next time.